everybody. How's everybody doing today? It is Erin Reed from Erin Reed Makes, and today we're going to make this fun shaker card, but it's a slimline card. So slimline cards are kind of a fun new trend, which I think is awesome because it doesn't require you to use any special type of envelope beyond just a regular business envelope. So you can still mail a slimline card with a regular size postage, and it just gives you a different format and kind of a different way of looking about it. So we're going to make this cute card right here, and we're going to use this really fun set. This is a stamp and die set from Maker's Movement, and it is called Message in a Bottle. There we go. So because we're going to make this little message in a bottle, but the card we're going to make together, we're actually going to turn this way. So I'm going to show you that this particular card, with having the two elements here, is really simple to go either this direction or this direction. So it works both ways, which I love, kind of a two-for card. I'm going to be using my digital paper pack. So I created my first collection. It's called Seize the Day. Haha, seize, get it? Seize. And so we are going to use this paper. I've printed it off and I've already cut it down to size here, and so that's what's in the background. And so the cool thing about my paper packs that are, even though they're digital and you have to print them out, which is totally cool, I think it gives you a lot of options. So I can print out this particular paper pack, hello Janet, to be 8.5 by 10 or 10, sorry, like a full, like normal sheet of printer paper, or I can print it to just be like a 6 by 6. So I've given you guys sizing options because you get the PDF and you also get the JPEG. So you can print it off, and if you just hit print, your printer should be able to print as like a 4 by 6. So the scaling of it will change. So I think that's kind of a fun way of doing it. All right, we're also going to be playing with my digital stamps. So that's what these are here, right there. And they're also as a SVG file. So you can do them as a cut file as well. Okay, sorry, my kids have the TV on really loud right now. Morgan, can you have them turn the TV down, please? Thank you. You guys have this problem with your TV where you play your TV, and when they're talking, you can barely hear it, or you can hear it just fine. And then all of a sudden there's like this big intense scene happening, and all of a sudden you can't hear, like it's just overwhelmingly loud. Maybe your TV's in a weird setting. I don't know. Okay, so slimline card. Let's get all the mess out of the way. Super simple. With a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, you're going to want to cut it so that I have my ruler handy. Sorry, I already did the cutting. So this side is 7 inches. So you're going to cut it 7 inches, and this side is still the 8.5. So you have one cut to make. You only can get one card out of it, but I always keep the rest of my paper to use for other portions of the card. So you place that right here. And so you can place your slimline card to open up this way or this way. It's kind of up to you. Really works. So for the first card I made, we went vertical. For the second card, we're going to go horizontal. You can really go both directions with it. So I've already cut a mat out of craft paper. Something about craft paper I just think is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and adhere that portion down. Come on. I'm at the very, very end. I'm trying to eke out the last little bit of my adhesive. I'm going to try and save every last portion. I have an extra cartridge here if that one runs out completely. So I'm going to go ahead and place this down. I like to go down by 1/4 of an inch. And even with these types of cards, the slimline cards, I like to go down by 1/4 of an inch as well. So just adds a little something there. And then we're going to take and we're going to place my paper on here. Now, for this card, and it's because of the way that I cut it. So initially for this card, the waves were going vertical. And I was like, oh, am I going to like it going the other way? And so I went ahead and placed down my other elements here. Hang on, I got little stickies here. So I placed down my other elements that I had. And I was like, am I going to like having the pattern paper going the other direction? And I was like, yeah, actually, I kind of do, because it looks like it's more like little waves kind of. It's just this little element in the background. You really can't tell the main pattern, but it definitely has something happening. So it gives an illusion that there's more going on back there, which I like. So we're going to print that. And I print this when I do my printable papers and I print them out. I print them on the same cardstock that I use for the backing of my paper, which is the Nina 110-pound paper. I use it for my coloring. I use it for my printing. And I just think it's awesome. Now, if you guys can see really, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is not the paper that's an issue. This is my printer has a little, I need to do a head cleaning on it, and that it has a little line on there. So every now and then but that part's going to get covered up as soon as I do this anyway. So you're never going to see that. Moot point, right? All right. So then I have a huge selection of my stamps. These are all my digital stamps. You can either print it off as a PDF. So this, and the first one I did, Let Your Dream Set Sails. That's the one I put here. And it's sized to be a 3x3, but I'm also giving you the JPEG, so you can size it to be larger or smaller, or however you wish. But you can also cut it a little bit thinner, so a little closer. So this one I actually cut it down to be, I think, 2 3/4. This one is 3 inches this way, but it's 2 3/4 up and down. But, you know, bon voyage. This is actually 3 different sentiments, so you can cut these out and pull them apart. So that's what I did with one of them. I actually cut one of these little guys apart. So you can take this little guy and you can have it, you know, like Oceans of Fun, or I'm actually going to put one sentiment on the inside. I haven't decided which one I want to put on the inside of this card yet, but we're going to get to that one soon. So lots of options for sentiments. Great for the insides of the cards. You can put them on the outsides of the cards. Totally cool, however you want. For this one, I'm going to do Hope to See You Soon. So it's kind of a play on, you know, hey, we haven't seen each other in a while. I want to see you soon. We're going to go with that. So great way to have a little sentiment. And it's an easy card you can pop in the mail. It's not super thick either with the shaker bit that's on here. So I'm thinking that it would still be able to go into a regular size envelope and not be a problem. And the fun part about doing, so I'm just kind of laying this down here. And this, I am going to go ahead, sorry, I'm going to come back to the talking part I just was at. This part, I'm going to go ahead and lay it, but I want to have a gap here. So when I cut this down, this was 3 inches. I made this 4.5 and it fit down nicely. So I actually cut, when I first started assembling the card, when I cut this piece out initially, I sized it at like 5 inches, and then I placed it, and then I cut down 1/4 inch until I went, no, I like that sizing and I like the gap here, and it worked really well. So that's how you can kind of, I don't know why I flipped it over. White's white, no matter what. It's the same white front and back. So if you're not sure on the sizing of a card or the elements, that's how you can do that. All right, so that is the basis for the card. See, it's the same concept, right? Except all I did is I flipped it to go the other way. So I just changed the orientation of the sentiment. And the cool thing about this bottle is your bottle can go upright or your bottle can go sideways. So now we're going to add the stamp. So the stamp needs to go in there. I already have my stamp on here. All my little bits just off camera here. And I went ahead and cut. We're going to add this as the top. Now you could add a pattern paper to the background. I even actually debated, instead of doing white here, doing craft and having a white on the top. But what I didn't like is I didn't like having white and white. It was just a little too matchy. It was a little too on the nose for me. So I'd liked alternating it. But yeah, you could totally do another craft paper here and then the white on top. That would look smashing as well. Just really whatever you want. So just to kind of show you, this is not the right size. But if you did a craft here, come on, little piece, and then you add your bottle, again, that's not the right size here. You kind of get the idea of what that would look like. It's kind of the concept. So why do I have this little guy? This is what we're using on top, because I need this, and I've already added a little bit of some adhesive to the back, just a couple of spots. So I'm going to lay this down, and then we're going to stamp directly onto the back paper. So that might be an issue if you did the craft in the background, because I'm stamping directly to the back page. But you could also stamp on white, and in the set, there is also a die. So you could make your ship be one of the shaker elements, and it would go back and forth, which would look kind of cute as well. I chose not to do that for this card, but you totally could. I think that would be a really sweet addition. So I'm just putting this down here so I have a template of where should my ship go and an orientation, because that's about the way I want my bottle to fit. So I'm going to open up my ink here. I just got this new ink in from Close to My Heart, and I'm loving the magnetic. Oh my goodness, it's like a game changer. Okay, so my little ship is going to go right here. There we go. I'm going to put it right smack in the middle here. And if you wanted to do this on a MISTI, I thought I could do that free-handed and it would be great. You really like the bottle. It's so cute, isn't it? It's so fun. And you can do on the back of the package, it also has it's showing how to do it on a tag. And on the website for Makers Movement, they also have a whole bunch of other inspiration ideas. A lot of the stuff on their website, my stuff too, because they like to use my pictures that I send them, but you get the idea. Okay, so now we need to cut the foam part to make this a shaker element. So I already have a piece of double-sided foam right here. And I have, this is the die that I use to cut this out of. So this comes with it as well. So that's where this piece came. You just throw that middle piece away. That becomes the outside border. And this also becomes how you can get the right size for the shaker. So you use this die more than once, and you can cut through that double-sided foam. No, and it's adhesive, it's sticky foam. And I'm just going to run it through my little mini maker. I love this because I can cut literally anything. Just got to get it started. I always like starting it. I should have done it on the thinner side that doesn't have anything. And then it gets it going. And then it pushes through like no tomorrow. All done. There we go. And these little guys pop right out. I mean, look, it's the same die, no difference. And it cuts through. Part of the reason is because I've got this metal shim in there, which allows the die, any die that you have, just to give it a little bit more of a tooth for it to cut. So it'll cut through even foam, which I think is awesome. All right. Now that I'm done using some of the stuff, we can clear it out. Get some of this mess out of the way. And I don't throw these away. I keep this because I have so many other things that I add foam dots to, or I want to pop up. I could have popped this sentiment piece up if I wanted to. So these little pieces are just like foam bits that I like. I'm going to put my bottle piece back and then keep this. Now I already die cut this piece, which is from this die. So why do I have to use a different die for this? Because we want to make sure that this covers the whole piece. And if I die, this is a little plastic piece we're going to put on top to make sure our shaker bits don't fall out. It's the same shape, but it doesn't have that insert cut. So it will completely cover it. So that is the key thing. It's like having a nesting system already built in for a very specific shape. So you could totally use these shapes for anything else you want to as well, which I think is fun. All right, so first step is we're going to place our little bottle. So see how I can place this kind of on here? I want to decide exactly. And I could have the bottle go this way, but I thought having it kind of away would look kind of cool. So I'm going to take off just the bottom sticky of the foam. Don't take the top off yet. Otherwise all your stuff is going to stick. And then place so you can see your ship. I like it angled. I don't like it too on the nose. Sorry. And don't try and pull this. Otherwise it's going to get it all out of, like it's going to warp the shape of it. So there we go. So just gently place it on there. If that works. I'm kind of doing it at an angle. There we go. Now I can see it better for myself. That works for me. Oh, I forgot to color it. I knew there was something I was forgetting. All right. On here, I colored it. We're going to have to do a really easy coloring job. I just grabbed some markers that really matched with my paper colors. So I just took my paper colors and I found, you know, grays that fit, the peach, the blue, another light gray. So all the colors that were in my paper line, I picked. And then I'm just going to do, that's the dark one. I'm going to do the light gray. Should have colored this first. I got so excited about the foam. And I'm just doing the base of the ship in gray. You could do it whatever color you want, but I like gray. Let me turn it so I can get to the bottom. I'm not worried about shading. You can do this with any colors. I just have a bigger range of colors with my alcohol markers, and I do some of my other ones. And I couldn't find the exact colors I wanted with some of the others. I'm going to do one little switch to compare to the one that I did on the other card, which is I'm going to do on this one, I did my sails in blue. And on this one, I'm going to do my sails in the peach, just to change it up. I mean, shoot, you can make your ship peach. You can make your ship blue. You can make whatever you want. Brown, typical brown. There's another fun in the stamp set. You also get the skull and crossbones. You also get little hearts. You could put a heart in the middle of one of your sails. I think that's kind of cute. So I'm making my sails peach. And then my little flag banners, the right side, I'm going to do those in blue. Again, you can do them in whatever color you want. And I should have done this before I stuck the little bottle down. But there you go. There's your little ship. I don't know if I like it in the peach better or the blue better. I like them both ways. I think they look cute no matter what. Now it's time to fill our bottle with our shaker bits. So I have just 3 little things that I'm going to add. The first one is I'm going to add some sequins. So I wanted it to look like it was an ocean and kind of glittery with the ocean. And so I have these iridescent shaker elements, sequins, I've had for a while. So those are going to go in there. And then the blue I thought was a pretty good blue that matched with a lot that was going on. So it looked like it was like the ocean moving around. These are from American Crafts. These are these called Pop microbeads. I have all the other elements linked, and I didn't add enough in this card. I totally gypped myself. So I want to add a little bit more than I normally would. I'm going to level that out a bit. And I'm just going to add a couple of these. These are actually from the shaker sprinkles from Maker's Movement. These are the ones that are for the mixed drink set. These are supposed to be ice cubes, but I thought they would kind of work for like water and ocean. So I'm just going to put a couple of these in here. I don't want to overdo it. I really want it to be more about this, but I thought the mix looked kind of cool. You can put whatever you want in there. You can put some glitter in there, have some fun, use up your bits. I mean, these are things literally I just kind of went in my stash of all my little bits and bobs that I have. I'm like, what would look cool as an ocean? And this is what I came up with. So I've linked this set in my information section to the Simon Says stamp because they have it, but there's also at Maker's Movement. And I do know on the Maker's Movement website, they have a buy 2, get 1 free. So it's any products. Like you can get the mini maker, and you can get 2 stamp sets, and one of your stamp sets would be free. Whatever the lowest price item is the freebie. All right, before I do that part, I'm going to take off. So they also have the foam sheets, and they also have the acetate that's there too. So when you get the acetate, there's a whole bunch in there. You die cut it out, and it's got the blue on both sides. So make sure you take the blue off of both sides. And I just go in the corner that you're never going to see because this part's going to get covered up by the edge, the top layer. So I'm just going to pop this out. Okay, so now I've got my acetate right here, or whatever you want to call it. The clear paper, clear front. Take off that part. Make sure everything is nice and flat. Everything is orientated the way. I do notice that these little ice cubes do work better if they're flat and like to the side and not sitting up and down. I think they roll better. They move around better. So just as a heads up. Okay, they're all there. And then very gently, I'm going to go from the front here first. And then just place this down, and it doesn't have to, there's a little bit of static in our air. And there we go. And if it's not perfect, the key thing is you want to seal it. So I'm going to go around, and I went a little off. I'm a little too low down here, but it's clear. So nobody's ever going to know that I screwed that up. You could go back in with a little bit of scissors if you wanted to. And then you need to make this sticky so it sticks on top, and you can cut this out of whatever you want. You can do this patterned paper, you know, whatever stuff that you want to make that out of, go for it. I think I bowed this out a little bit too much. So when I place this down, I'm going to have to bow this as well because I was fiddling around by lifting it up and stuff. So I'm putting this through my sticker maker because to try and get adhesive on this little bitty edges, forget that business. Because that's, if I was going to try and get my tape runner in there, I would probably end up ripping this. And I don't want to do that. So I just add sticky all the way around, makes life easy, pull the top off. And now this entire backing, oops, I need to get this plastic part off. I don't want to rip it. There we go. I didn't do a very good job lifting it up. Now the entire back side is all sticky, which is awesome. And it's not in the center, it's just on the parts around the edge. And then place, I'm going to turn it this way so I can see a little better. And then, like I said, I kind of bowed out the foam bit, so I got to just kind of change that up. And I do have some plastic right there, and that is going to bug the bejesus out of me. So excuse the arm. So sorry. I'm going to grab my scissors here and just kind of go through. I did a really bad job putting that on there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this. I think I just can. These are my smaller scissors, so I can get them in. And they have a hinge tip. That little extra plastic there is just going to bug me, so I'm going to clean it up. If it doesn't bother you, don't do it. There we go. And now you never knew it was there. Ta-da! It's all gone. And there is, now it's like the little ship. Maybe I put too much in this time. You barely see my ship. So as you move the shaker bits around, you know, it's like having a message in a bottle. And you could totally put a sentiment inside of there instead of the ship. But it looks like those old-fashioned ships that you would see in the bottle where you like piece the pieces back in the bottle very carefully. That's kind of the concept of that. Now, I thought this looked pretty plain. And so my cure for that is to do a stitched border, of which I could do that first. So I'm just going to go through and add a stitched border. You could do it in a color. I mean, you could leave it alone. It's whatever you want. I just felt it needed something else. It needed another pop of something. I really, truly could do that. I think the peach would look really pretty to pull out the peach. But now this particular card, it also has like a masculine vibe to it. So this would look really good if you had, you know, if you needed a card for a guy, or you're just wanting more of a gender neutral card. I think it would work awesome. It's not a foofy frilly card, which I think is great. And you can also do it without making it a shaker. If you didn't want to do the shaker part, you could die cut out the bottle, add the stamp with the little ship in there, and there's sentiments. I'm so glad I found you. Let me set sail. A little message just for you. And then you've got those two things. And then you also have this little banner here. And so I had debated doing a little banner and let's set sail, like doing a little flag, almost like it's a little bottle that's got a flag. You could do something like that. You could have fun with it. I didn't do it for this round though. Just kind of playing around with it. Having fun. And so there are these two super cute cards. So you can turn it either direction. So look, you can have a vertical or you can have a horizontal, and you can really play around with kind of the funness of that little message in a bottle. It's just something different. And playing around with the fact that you can take something small like this and you can really totally do a slimline card, because I know that they're kind of fun and it's a new shape. So if you break it out into two small pieces, you can either do top to bottom or from side to side, and it's a great way to do a slimline card. I've seen lots where there's 3 elements, but I've not seen a whole lot where there's been 2. So I thought that this would be kind of a fun introduction. Like you can take all of those cut files that you have, like all those, like they look like little squares, the 3x3 squares, and those would look really cool on the side, and then use a stamp set that coordinates with it. So lots of fun ways you can do it. You could also, here's another option. So if you're interested in doing slimline cards, but you're like, I don't know where to go with it and I don't know what to do. These are what I call my journaling cards, even though they're like project life cards, however you want to call them, even though they're not project life, but you could use them for that. That could be the piece that's down here at the bottom. So you could do something, excuse me, like this. So you could have a sentiment at the top, a big thing is at the bottom. You could do, this could be this like a little fun stamped image at the top, and then a big card at the bottom. Lots of ways that you can play with the concept of the slimline card. So that is our little tutorial for today. So guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget, if you want to go in and get your chance to win my brand new collection of Seize the Day, which is the papers, the digital stamps, which also are SVG files, and also the cards, head on over. The link is to my reveal day. That video is live. You can leave a comment on there and you have a chance to win my digital paper pack, which is a prize. There's 3 winners on that. Just leave a comment and that would be fantastic. So please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and let your dreams set sail. Links for the supplies are down below. Thank you guys so much. Bye, everybody.